Let's do it.
Welcome, sir. Looking sharp, ready to go. It's like a business meeting, not just a media day.
I'm a businessman, they say these days, so ready to handle business on Saturday and handle some other business after that.
Absolutely. This isn't anything unfamiliar to you. You've been here, done that, main evented, big fights, COVID times, you name it. What could they possibly throw at you? But now you're going up against these young guns. How do we stay relevant here and not just, you know, fall complacent to like, well, I'm Sterling. Of course I'm gonna win.
It's easy to get complacent, but when you train with these young guys in the gym every day and they're getting after you, it has to keep you on top of your game. It pushes you to want to do that. And training with a guy like Youssef before in the past, it's definitely given me that inside look of how he thinks and what motivates him to want to win this fight. So I got my work cut out for me, but I think Big Brother is going to prevail and show him it's just not his time yet. It's still the Funk Master time.
And you kind of beat me to the punch there. When guys have history, MMA, boxing, they sparred together, trained together, rolled together, just even hung out. How are you able to separate that and just keep that? It's business. 25 minutes, we're not friends. I'm here to kill.
It's not easy. I had to do it with Bryant Ortega, and that was a little weird one for me. Even when I had him hurt with the right hand in the round two, I kind of pulled back because he said I poked him in the eye. I was like, dude, that was a punch, man. But I took my foot off the gas because, I like the guy, I like Youssef too, but, if I get him hurt, I don't plan to make that mistake again and just go out there and get the finish. And I got to do what I got to do, man. I'm trying to make history. I'm trying to win a second belt. I'm trying to fight the legend, the OG, and Volk. In order to do that, I got to get past Youssef Zalal, and I got to do it in Funk Master fashion and get some style points.
My man. And with that being said, you're too experienced and too seasoned to look past people. But how do you surround yourself with the right guys and girls to keep you grounded and say, I know what the goal is, and yes, I want to be a two-weight champion, but I have an obstacle this Saturday to get past, and that is the number one priority.
Wait, so what's the question?
About just staying humble and grounded, because you can just as easily say, I'm that guy. I've done this already. But you already mentioned Volkanovski. We can't get to Volk if you don't get past Youssef.
Yeah, it's Youssef is good, but shit, man, I've been doing this for a very long time. I didn't have to get cut and make my way back. He did. He had to dig deep to do that, and I think it's two different type of mental attitudes, right? He could have went to the regional circuit, maybe lost and packed it up, but he decided to come back, made his run through. And then for me, I've been knocked down, been knocked out, built myself back up, and here I am today. I've become a world champion at the bantamweight division, tied with the most wins with one of my best friends in Merab Dvalishvili, and I got the most wins in bantamweight history. So I didn't get here by accident. This is no cakewalk for Youssef Zalal, and if he thinks it's going to be easy, he's got a rude awakening coming this Saturday. I'm giving it everything I got. He's a young gun. I got to break him. I got to break him in there. Simple as that. The goal is to go out there, dominate, and break the dude.
My man. Who did we bring in to, obviously, you got Marab, one of the greatest in the game, to just kind of vibe off of, but who did you bring in to emulate Youssef's style and get you ready for these possible 25-minute war?
We had Jeremy Kennedy. We had Shane Collins. We had some good guys. Marab for the cardio aspect. I know he's not the same height and as tall with the same skill set. But we prepare for everything, just not leaving any stones unturned. We're doing a lot of shark tanks, people taking my back, working my escapes, me working my offensive attacks. And I think if I don't get the finish in the third round, this fight's going to come down to cardio and grit and who wants it more. And I know it's one thing to say you want it more. It's another thing to go out there and show it and prove it. And I'm willing to die in there.
That's what's up, man. I love that. Besides having that belt and being title holder at 135 and being on these posters and doing these media days like just another day at the office, what was the reaction when you got that name on the contract? Besides having that experience, what did you say? Like, oh, okay, we eventually knew we were going to cross paths.
Well, the matchmaker said they weren't going to make the fight because they thought it was an awful fight. And then Youssef submitted Josh Emmett, and then here we are. They made the fight. So, eventually things were going to be bound to happen. I'm friendly with all these guys, Yair Rodriguez, Bryant Ortega. I was a bandweight for a very long time, so it was easy to become friendly with these guys, right? And now I'm at their division. I'm more of the target, and I'm like the friend of me now, So I saw the name and I was like, it is what it is. I sent them a text message like, yo, it's all love. I know you got dreams you're trying to accomplish and chase, as am I. I know I already reached that pinnacle, but I'm not done yet. I'm not complacent, and I'm not content. I'm greedy, man. I want it all. It's not just for me. It's for me and my family, me and my people around me, giving my friends opportunities to do things with them, building other people up, giving back to my community. I do a lot of things outside of this sport that people might not see, that doesn't get the shine that it probably deserves. But that's not why I do it, It's not to highlight and say, oh, look at me, I'm helping out, So I'm happy with everything I've been able to do in this sport. Getting a win is just going to make things that much sweeter and open up more opportunities and more walks of life for me to help out with people, So that's what it's all about for me. And, of course, now I got my company, my Funk Harbor Rum, and we're doing big things with that. Got an announcement with that soon, and giving people an opportunity to join the ride and be a part investor. So just a lot of things working on. And I remember being in Shanghai, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, making business calls, trying to get things done the right way. And that just shows the grind and the hustle I'm willing to do. It's like sometimes people think it could be a distraction, but I think it's more of a motivator for me. And hopefully I get to start a family later this year.
Awesome, man. If you can juggle all that, even more props to you. And you, like you said, you really can't help anyone out if you can't help yourself first. And that's cool that you and Youssef. Would you be happier if he was talking trash and you had a reason to hate him, or is it harder to fight somebody that you're good with and there's respect and love?
I like trash talk, so it's a little weird to not have it with these guys. Ortega, there's no trash talk. Youssef, there's no trash talk. It's more playful jokes than anything, and it's like kind of like where I'm from, Long Island. We kind of just, jab at each other here and there. But I'm coming to whoop his ass, man. That's it. I don't need the extra motivation. I'm motivated. I worked hard. These guys see me work. These guys see me put the hours in. And, man, if I get this done, which I really do think I will, turn back the clock, get to fight a legend, continue my track to be one of the greatest of all time in just the whole entire sport. This is more for me than it is for anybody else. It's me versus me in there on Saturday night. And I can't wait to go out there and put on a show. Like, the ones who want to doubt and whatever, just keep watching. Keep watching. The Funk Master's coming, and I'm going to show you guys why they call me the Funk Master on April 25th.
That's awesome, man. And last for me, been there, done that, titles, DQs, eye pokes, Funk Harbor business, all that. We're here on Saturday, and, you're ready to really make a statement. Do you feel that you still have to let people know who you are, even with all the time that you put in and how seasoned you are with the UFC?
Yes and no. It's a little weird because some people only been introduced to Aljamain Sterling with the first Piotr Jan fight. And that's unfortunate because they got to miss all the great performances I've had before that, all the finishes, all the things I've done in the bantamweight division. And if you really want to know who I am, go back and watch. It's not hard to do. And you can see how I got here. I didn't get here by getting a handout. I didn't get the Dana White privilege. I didn't get none of that. Like I said, I've been knocked out before my title run, build myself back up. I was that undefeated fighter coming in, won 4 fights in the UFC, finished the last 3 fights on my contract, then suffered 2 losses back-to-back, split decision, but still lost, and built myself back, man. At the end of the day, glass half full. I'm that type of person. I don't look at things in a very negative way that some people do and get down on themselves. It's just, how can I get better? What can I do to change my environment and my circumstances? And that's how I try to preach life to everybody, because I come from that poor background where I didn't have much. And I used to blame everybody else, blame the system. And then when I realized that this opportunity for me to do things my way might be a little bit harder, but I could do things my way and I get that opportunity. And here I am today, living testament of that, and just trying to be a good role model in that sense. But, I never got in to be a role model. It kind of just happened on its own, and I'm glad if I can inspire anybody out there. And if the first fight you saw of me was Piotr Jan won, then please go back, watch the other ones. That's all I can say. And you understand why they call me the Funk Master. And we're going to continue running, man. I'm going to run this thing up till the wheels fall off, and that's it.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you for being inspiration in the cage and outside of it. And good luck on Saturday, sir.
Thank you.
And following with that, obviously a champion, to be a champion again, you could be a role model, but just outside of having a belt or not, but being a role model, how important is that? And was it important to you initially, or is it something that's grown in importance, being a role model to future generations?
No, it wasn't important to me originally, like at all. before I started this sport, I was going to college and through wrestling. If I didn't start wrestling, I wouldn't have gone to college. And it showed me a whole different walk of life. There's more to the world other than Uniondale, New York, and doing the same old BS that I was doing in the neighborhood, following my brother's footsteps, on the cusp of joining the Bloods with him. And I'm just glad I decided to take a different turn in my life, and it really worked out. So when I look back at all the decisions I made, it's been nothing but positive, and that's my inspiration for the kids. If I can share them a story, it's like, hey, you don't have to let other people decide your path. You get the chance to decide. And again, it might not be the easiest, and this is a deep-rooted thing. It's not something that's just a black and white thing that's easy to construe that thought, right? It's a whole lot of unpacking, but with that said, we do have an opportunity still, as long as we decide to make the right choices and we push ourselves forward. It's going to be hard. It's never going to be easy. I didn't have an easy road to get here, but I'm here. You work hard, you put the time in, you won't be denied. At the end of the day, winners can't be denied. So that's kind of how I approach the sport, how I've always approached life since I started wrestling. And what I loved about wrestling that it taught me was you get in what you put in. And this is the same thing with this sport in MMA. You get in what you put in. So if you don't put in the work, expect the results that you put in. And I put in a lot of work for this, so I plan to win on Saturday night.
I know you put in a lot of work in, and just listening back to your words right there, it's got to feel kind of surreal when you're able to say that there was a point where you almost joined a gang, and then look at where you're at now. You got businesses, you got bottles hanging out right there by your feet. You were a UFC champion on the doorstep again. How surreal. I mean, do you ever have those moments where you kind of get those humbling moments to when you look back at your past and think, or just thank yourself for those decisions that you made to put you into this point?
Yeah, for sure. Sometimes I wake up in the morning and I'm in my bed. I'm in a king-size bed, and I'm just like, I come a long way from sharing a bunk bed and sharing a twin-size bed and living with Ally Quinta, paying $500 a month just to try to get by to make this dream a possibility. And I made sure I got my college degree because that's what I wanted to do first. I wanted to be a coach. I wanted to be a mentor for kids. And that was before I even thought about fighting. And then once I got into this, I was like, you know what? I'm young enough to give it a shot. I gave it the best that I had, and it worked out. You know, so I think every day I'm just super grateful for the opportunities I was given, and I'm just glad things worked out the way that it did. It doesn't happen like that for everybody. But if there's one thing I can say, if you keep pushing forward, man, good things are bound to happen. And of course, it gets to a certain point in your life where you need to try different things because maybe something that you really want isn't for you. And trying to force it doesn't really go the right way. You could spend years and years of your life chasing something that may never happen. So it's a little bit of both, right? So you got to be a little bit educated on what you decide to do. And again, I'm just grateful it worked out. And I have no wants, I have no needs. It's whatever I decide to do. And to have a life like that, to work hard for it and to earn it, and know that no one's handed it to me, or I don't have to go and say this person did this for me. It feels good to know that you earned it on your own. Blue collar work ethic, and that's what I'm all about. And I respect people who get it from the mud, man. So, like I said, I'm a living testament to that, and life couldn't be any better. But it could get a little bit better with the win on Saturday night. It could get a little bit better.
Well, I know you're also, wrestling's always been a big part of your life, so I'm sure you're enjoying the fact that you're able to go out and compete in RAF and do some of that stuff, and it seems that Dana seems to be giving his blessings to fighters to do that as well. Is that something that you're enjoying, being able to kind of get back to your roots? And is that something you want to keep going forward doing?
100%. I got a couple more matches with those guys. It was just nostalgic to put the singlet back on, lace up the wrestling shoes. I'm like, man, I feel like a young kid again, doing this all over. Like, I'm reliving my high school days, reliving my college days as a wrestling competitor, and it was just surreal just to be back in there and see all the fans that came out to watch, all the young kids. I'm like, to see that, like, that's motivating in itself, and it just makes you appreciate how far you've come. And I'm just really fortunate and happy to be a part of this. And you could actually make decent money wrestling too. So there's no complaints there either. And I know one thing Youssef has said to me is, like, whenever we see each other at like events and stuff, and he sees me dressed up, and he's like, "Oh, you rich? You got money? You're rich now. You got money now. Look at you. You got money now." And I'm like, yeah, you'll get there one day. Just keep working hard. I've been there, and slowly but surely, everything comes to fruition, right? So, I I know when people say certain things, I know he kind of means it in a different sense, not like in a malicious way, but you know, he wants what I have, and I can't let him take it from me. I mean, he can't take it from me. He can't, but it's just not his time yet, you know. So he'll get there one day, just not gonna be off my back.
You know he's going to come for some payback for that impression right there.
I know.
You mentioned that he, at one point, you know, before the Emmett fight, so did his name come across the table before the Emmett fight, and was it just not worth it at the time, or was it, you know, did his name come across your plate after the Emmett fight?
After the Emmett fight. But before that, the year before, literally about a year before that, we were at Tough Enough, and we spoke with the matchmakers, and we were both there, and we just both told him, like, yo, what's the next fight for both of us? And it just came up in conversation, and we both were like, yeah, don't make this fight. Our styles just don't match well because we're both elusive. I call him Youssef the elusive. But sure enough, you know, he won his last fight in a big way, in impressive fashion, and here it is.
And you mentioned that he was cut and then he worked his way back. What does that show for you, the fact that what he was able to build after coming back? You know, a lot of guys do get cut and do hang it up, maybe stay on the regional scene, but the fact that he came back, he's on a super impressive run. Is that impressive to you, or do you focus more on the fact of, well, he got cut at some point, you know, where you haven't? I mean,
it's still impressive. I mean, the way he beat those guys on the regional circuit, then came back, impressive. And then the run that he went on in the UFC, impressive as well. It's just one common denominator fight is the fight with Calvin Kattar. I like to think mine was a little bit more dominant than his, and with that said, I didn't have on track shoes, you know. So I'm not trying to. It's hard to compare fights, right? Styles are just different, and I think that's the main key factor in this. Who's going to win those grappling exchanges? Because I know he's going to be looking to take me down at some point. He says he wants to submit me, but I like to see him try. I welcome the grappling. I hope he tries to come and grapple me because I got some tricks. So we'll see what he wants to do in there. And I got plan A, plan B, plan C. So I can adapt, and I'm willing to see what he's trying to do, and I'm just going to take the fight however it comes.
and last for me, you've seen everybody in there. You've been in there with anybody. You're familiar with him. Is there anything that he brings to this cage potentially that you haven't seen in the cage before?
I mean, I fought guys with good footwork before. O'Malley is one of those guys with great footwork. And that was probably my worst night. But other than that, not too many guys that move as much as he does. He has an educated jab, really good calf kicks, and he likes that step-in knee. They call it the low rider. You know, he goes for the calf, low rider, and then he comes up with the knee up the middle. I think they learned that from James Krause and Mark Montoya. They kind of put that together. So he's got some dangerous weapons, but for the most part, there's nothing I haven't seen. I think people see me get kneed by Marlon Moraes, and I feel like most of my opponents now, they just try to do that just in case they could get lucky. But it hasn't worked since then, so hopefully he doesn't get lucky this weekend. But I'm just going to go out there. There's nothing he's done that I haven't seen, and I think there's a lot that I've done that he hasn't seen. The guy he faced and trained with back in 2017 is a completely different animal.
And I know you were going to rep your bottles earlier, but I know you said you had an announcement that's to come. I don't know if that's something that you could tease when you're going to make this announcement that you're...
We're hoping to launch it later this week. Just gives people an opportunity to invest with the company and take the ride with us. So as the company grows, their money grows, that type of thing. So I'm excited about that opportunity. There's some like guidelines. I can't quite say certain things until it's actually announced. But if you want to join the Funk Harper family, man, it's going to be a good one. You know, it's not like some of these other celebrities that just put their name on the brand. I've actually been involved with the tasting process, the label process, the bottling process. So I put a lot of work into this. I actually enjoy it. This is one of the fun things I like to do in my spare time when I'm not fighting. I like to have a nice cocktail. And as an athlete, I like to drink clean. So something that's gluten-free, no additives, no preservatives, no food coloring. And it's a tribute to Jamaica and also inspired by, just built by the American dream, you know? So work hard, good things happen, and using my hard-earned money to do this because I truly do believe in the brand.
Sounds incredible. Best of luck on Saturday.
Thank you.
Aljamain, you just mentioned that you want to see Youssef trying to submit you. And some of the fans call you the human backpack because your back position is is one of the most dominant. What specific details make your backpack position so hard to escape?
I just think I have good dexterity in my knees, and just the technical side of it, I could switch and do the figure four triangle on both sides. When I was in college and in high school, I wrestled a lot riding legs from folk style wrestling. In freestyle and Greco, you don't use legs in the top position, so it's mostly just takedowns. I think that's what gives me the advantage all the years of wrestling, and it makes my back control really, really hard to deal with. And man, I'm really hoping I could bring that back. I know he's going to be doing his work, but I think he's very familiar with my back takes, and he knows once I get to that position, I'm really strong there. So I plan on trying to get him out there and squeeze his head off.
And if everything goes your way, what does a perfect Sterling performance look like for this Saturday?
Perfect Sterling performance, some striking, some takedowns, some scrambling, and me ended up in a dominant position, taking it back, throwing the hooks in, figure four body triangle, putting my arm across the face, and getting my rear naked choke submission.
Thank you, Aljamain.
Aljo, just a quick one from me. You were speaking about your future potential matchup with Volk for the title. So don't you think that Movsar will be a little bit quicker than you? Or you don't think that Movsar can beat Volk?
Are you Russian?
Yes, sir.
Privet.
Как дела?
I think Mozart deserves a fight. I thought he's been deserving of it for a while. Hopefully he gets the crack at the title. After that, I think if I have a great performance, the division is wide open, and I think I could solidify my case to be next in line. And I still think I won that fight with Mozart. I don't care what nobody says. I still think I won that fight. A lot of people thought I won that fight. And if he does happen to win, I'd like to run it back with him.
So if you had a choice, to fight for the title against Volk or to close this loss, okay, paper loss with Movsar?
Title, for sure.
No, I mean Hoof to if Movsar will hold the title. So what is better for you, Volk with title or Movsar with title?
I think Volk with the title. This thing is a bigger name. Mozart's big overseas in the European country side of the world, right? But over here is a little bit different. I think Volkanovski's name holds a lot more weight. It's a bigger fight for them to make. And you're talking about one of the greatest featherweights of all time and someone who's the most winningest bantamweight of all time and has the highest consecutive title defenses in a row. So I think that's a big matchup that it could make, and I just need to go out there, bring it to fruition, and get the job done. And I finally get the dream matchup. And Volkanovski's another guy I got to train with. Super cool dude. I did cooking with Volk on his channel, and we had a great time in Thailand. But he also knows I'm coming for a dream, and it'll be nothing but respect. It'll just be an honor to share the octagon with him.
Thank you. Best of luck on Saturday.
Thank you. Спасибо.